Welcome everyone. Let's begin our lesson for today by going over the learning goals and success criteria. First, what are we learning? We're learning how to factor polynomials with the coefficient of 1 into a product of binomials, and how to factor polynomials with a coefficients greater than 1 into a product of binomials. How are we learning it? Through the factoring using products of binomials Part IV notes and the factoring using products of binomials Part IV assignment. When can we use this information? To examine problems in your life from different perspectives in order to find the best approach to simplify the problem. How do we know we learned it? By getting a score of 4 on the factoring using products of binomials Part IV assignment. Now let's take a look at our agenda for today. We will begin by going over the learning goals and success criteria. While we do that, you'll fill out your Get It Started. Once you've completed your Get It Started, we'll go over it together and answer any questions that you may have. After that, we'll go over the factoring using binomials Part IV notes, and then I'll give you time to complete the factoring using binomials Part IV assignment on IXL. Once you've completed the assignment, we'll go over it together and answer any questions that you may have. At the end of class, we'll go back over our learning goals and success criteria while you fill out your Before You Go. Your only homework for tonight is to continue working on the quadratic study guide and any incomplete assignments that you may have. Let's take a look now at the factoring using binomials Part IV notes. The notes begin with the learning goals and success criteria. Now, factoring. Factoring is a term that means simplifying a problem by determining the factors of the expression. So we need to be able to pick out a common factor that exists within a number or a set of numbers. So in this case, let's just look at 36. What are the factors of 36? Well, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 9, 12, 18, and 36. These are factors because I can multiply all of these numbers by something and get 36. Or another way to look at it is 36 is divisible evenly by all of these numbers. So these are factors. Now, what is a quadratic? A quadratic is an expression or equation that is of this form: ax squared plus bx plus c. So notice the squared term is here, that we have an x squared, and we have some other x and then some constant. A, b, and c are all numbers, so those are not actually variables. So an example would be 3x squared plus 2x plus 4. That would be an example of a quadratic. So if I ask you to factor this quadratic, x squared plus 5x plus 4, the solution is going to be of this form: x plus m times x plus n, and m and n will be some number. So we need to figure out what numbers need to go in these two spots. And the way we do it is by using the x method. So we're looking at the same question, and here's what we do. We place c in the top. So c is 4, so this goes up here. Then we place b in the bottom. b is the middle number, so this goes here. Now we're going to write out the factors of c. So what are the factors of 4? Well, we have 1, 2, and 4. So those are my factors. Now I need to figure out which two of those numbers are going to multiply to equal 4 and add to equal 5. Well, I have 1 times 4 is 4, and when I add those two together, I also get 5. So I'm going to go ahead and put each of those in each of these sides. It doesn't matter which one goes where, as long as I have 1 and 4 on each side. Then I'm going to place those two values into the solution. So I start with x plus m times x plus n. I'm going to plug 1 in for one of them and 4 in for the other one. So I get x plus 4 times x plus 1. And that would be my solution. Let's look at another example. We have x squared minus 6x plus 8. So same thing, place c at the top. So c is 8, so that goes here. Place b in the bottom, which is negative 6. So that goes there. Then I'm going to write out the factors. What are the factors of 8? Well, I have 1, 2, 4, and 8. Now, which of those are going to multiply to equal 8 and add to get negative 6? Well, remember, these can be both positive or negative. So I'm looking at negative 1 times negative 8 is positive 8, but it's also equal to negative 9. So that's not the answer. What about this one? So negative 2 and negative 4. If I multiply those two together, I get positive 8. And when I add them together, I get negative 6. So that would be my solution. So it's negative 2 and negative 4. So I place those in my x and then add them to my solution, which started as x plus m times x plus n. Well, I'm going to plug in -2 for one of these and -4 for the other one. So I get x minus 4 times x minus 2. One more example. We have x squared minus 4x minus 12. Well, I place c at the top, which is -12. I place b at the bottom, which is -4. Then I write out the factors of c. So what numbers multiply to get 12? Well, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. Now I need to find two numbers that multiply to equal -12 and add to get -4. So I know in order to get a negative when I multiply, one of them has to be positive, one of them has to be negative. So one of these has got to get me close to 4. So if I do this, I have 2 and 6 are 4 away from each other. So I just need to make sure that when I add them, the bigger number is negative so that it stays negative. So I'm going to make this -6 and +2. When I multiply those together, I get -12. When I add them together, I get -4. So I go ahead and add those to my x. Then I place them into the solution. So I start with x plus m times x plus n. And then I'm going to plug -6 in for one of them and 2 in for the other one. And I get x minus 6 times x plus 2. Now what if the a value is not 1, like in the previous examples? So in this one we have 5x squared minus 18x plus 9. Well, we're still going to use the x method, but we have to add a little bit to it later on. And this becomes the x box method. So the way we start is we're going to multiply a times c and put that in the top. So 5 times 9 is 45. And then we put b in the bottom just like before, so that's -18. And then we're going to write out the factors of a times c. So what are the factors of 45? Well, we can see that the factors are 1, 3, 5, 9, 15, and 45. So now which one of those is going to add up to be -18? Well, this is positive, so we know that they have to match. The signs have to match. So we need two of them that are going to add up to be 18, which we can see would be 3 and 15. So that would be -3 and -15, because that'll give us -18 total. So we have -15, and this should be -3. Now we're going to do the box part. So that's the x part. Now we're going to do the box part. So we're going to make a table with 4 squares, just like this. And we're going to place ax squared in the top left box. So that's 5x squared. So that goes here in the top left. Then in the bottom right, we're going to put c, which is 9. So that goes there. Now we're going to place -15x and 3x into each one of the boxes. And it doesn't matter which one you place it in. So we'll put -15 there and 3x here. Now we're going to factor out what we can, trying to find a common factor. So between 5x squared and 15x, there's a 5x in common. So that's what we would factor out. So we'll go ahead and just put it at the top of the box. Then we'll do this one, 3x and 9. Well, 3 is in common between those two, so we'll put a 3 at the top. Then we go crossways. So we have 5x squared and 3x. Well, the only thing in common there is an x. And then 15x and 9. Well, we have a 3 in common there. So now we have 5x and 3 and x and 3. And now we just place it into our solution. And now we're just going to check the signs to make sure they're correct. We know that the signs need to match so that it's 9, which they do here. And we need to make sure that we add up to be -18. So this is 5 times -3 is -15 minus 3 is -18. So we did it correctly. Let's look at another example. We have 2x squared minus 11x plus 15. So again, put a times c in the top. So a times c is 2 times 15 is 30. And put b in the bottom, which is -11. So we need two numbers that multiply to get 30 and add to get -11. So we write out the factors of 30, and we get 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 10, 15, and 30. Well, we know that 30 is positive, So then we need to have two numbers that are both the same sign, which add to get negative 11. Well, 5 and 6 gives us 11. So if they're both negative, that would give us negative 11. So this would be negative 5 and negative 6. So we go ahead and place that there. Now we move to the box part. So there's our box, and we put in ax squared here in the top left. So this is 2x squared. And we place c in here in the bottom right. So that's 15, so that goes there. Then we place these parts here. So negative 5x and negative 6x go in each of these boxes. And again, it doesn't matter which one goes where. So there we go. Now we just need to figure out what the common factors are. So we'll start here. 2x squared and negative 5x. Well, the only thing we have in common there is x. And then we have negative 6 and 15. Well, they have a 3 in common. Then here we have 2x squared minus 6x. Well, we have a 2x in common. And then 5x and 15 has a 5 in common. So we have x minus 3 and 2x minus 5. And we place those into our solution. So now we have 2x minus 5 and x minus 3 as our answer. Now there's a video here using Symbol Lab to show you how you can check your work with factoring. So go ahead and watch that video. Let's talk now about how we can use the Symbol Lab factor calculator to factor polynomials. So if you notice, I am on Symbol Lab, and it does say that this is the factor calculator. So when you do that, the word factor should already be here. And now I'm just going to put in the equation that I want to factor. So let's say it's x squared minus 4. So that's what I'm going to put in, and I'm going to go ahead and click go. So when I do that, it gives me the answer down here at the bottom. X plus 2 times x minus 2. And it shows me the steps of how I can get there. So this is one way to check your work to see if you did your work correctly when factoring. So this is how Symbol Lab Factor Calculator can help you with your factoring. Let's talk now about how to access your assignments on IXL using SBLink. So what you'll do is you'll click on the link that takes you to your SBLink, which should look like this, and you're going to log in the same way you would log into your computer. So the first part for your username is going to be the first part of your email address without the @sbcusd.ca.us. So it should be your last name, first initial, middle initial, and then the last 4 of your student ID. Then for your password, it's the same password you use to log into your Chromebook. From there, you'll go ahead and click sign in. And it should take you to a page that looks kind of like this. You're going to go find the link that says IXL, which is right here. And I'm going to go ahead and click on that link. And it should take me to the IXL login page. So it should look like this. At the top right corner, it should say welcome and then your name. If it does not say your name, then you're not logged in and you won't receive credit for your work. As long as this is good, you can go ahead and close that tab out. And then you can go to your Google Classroom. And then you'll go and find the activity, which is here. And I'm going to click on the IXL link right here. And this will take me to the assignment that I need to complete. So that's how you log into your assignments on IXL using SBLink. Let's take a look now at the Factoring Using Binomials Part IV assignment. The assignment begins with the learning goals and success criteria. If we scroll down, there's a link here that takes us to SBLink. That will allow you to log in so that you can access your IXL activity. Once you've completed the login, go ahead and come back to this page and then click on this link to take us to our IXL activity. When you click on that link, it should take us to a page that looks like this. The first one says 5q squared plus 7q plus 2, and it wants us to factor that. And when we use our Xbox method, we should come up with 5q plus 2 times q plus 1. We go ahead and hit submit. This tells us we got it right. Our smart score goes up. And then it gives us another question. You will continue to answer these questions until you get a SMART score of 80. If you miss a question, that's okay. Your SMART score will come down just a little bit. Just go ahead and continue to answer questions until you get your SMART score back up. Once you've completed the assignment, we'll go back to our Google form and click Next. This will take you to your Before You Go. Go ahead and fill out your Before You Go and then submit your work on Google Classroom.